You are watching Morning Rush on a Wednesday morning, guys. We are closer to Friday. We are so much closer to Friday. But of course, as is the norm on Morning Rush on Wednesdays, we sit down with women who are making such a difference in the world of entertainment and keeping us on our toes, keeping us thoroughly entertained. Today is no different. I do have a guest with me in the studio. But before I get to my guest, remember, we want you involved in all our conversations. So the feedback platforms, the Zim Papers TV Network Facebook page, or at ZTN Prime on Twitter, at ZTN Prime on Instagram. Now, as I mentioned today, I do have a guest with me, and she sang her way into our hearts several years ago. Now she's using that very same voice for a really good cause. She is, of course, trying to empower women and young girls, especially those in rural and marginalized communities who need to have, access to very basic, very simple things. Now, period poverty is a very common thing, especially in Zimbabwe. You'd be surprised by the number of young ladies, young girls who often have to miss school, for example, simply because they do not have access to sanitary wear. They do not have access to safe, clean sanitary wear, and so they have to resort to other means. We've heard examples of them using machira fabric, just to make sure that they maintain some form of dignity when they're on their period. Others have had to use cow dung, elephant dung, for example, just to make sure that, they are not leaking. And then others who can't get access to any of these have had to actually miss school. So today, my guest, Adiona Maboreke Chidzonga, is here, and she's talking to us about this campaign that she has embarked on that is helping to make sure that every young woman and young girl has access to safe, clean sanitary wear. Adiona, how are you?
Hey, Candice.
Where have you been?
At home.
Doing what?
A lot. I feel like I'm spread thin at the moment.
A lot where? A lot in hiding. We don't see you as much as we used to. We miss you.
Oh, I miss you guys too.
So when
but here I am, Chidzonga. I'm back.
Well, okay, that's fine. How's the music going?
Music is all right, but then that's not my main focus right now. But, I still have a voice.
She just throws us out. She's like, not my main focus. Doesn't matter.
I love music. It's my first love. I'll always be a singer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But what else are you doing?
So I think you said it beautifully. I was close to tears when you were just doing your intro. So some of you might know, I am the brand ambassador for the Zimbabwe National Family Planning Council. And together we collaborated on the 25th of March to launch something called the Pad Bank campaign.
Right.
So you spoke about everything that I wanted to speak about. There is a dire need for sanitary products. Urban, rural areas, everywhere, there's a need because 60% of women and girls don't have access to sanitary products in our country. So together with the ZNFPC, we came together, launched the Pad Bank campaign. What the Pad Bank campaign is, you donate sanitary products for redistribution.
Right.
So ZNFPC has 26 youth centers across Zimbabwe.
Right.
So through these youth centers, we'll be able to distribute the sanitary products. So it's just a matter of someone walking into the youth center, checking their name on the list if they're a child or a woman in the area, then collecting 1 or 2 packets from the youth center every month. Yeah.
Now, Adiona, one of the very adverse effects, especially of having to use these alternatives for the young women, is, we have an increase in cases of cervical cancer, for example.
Yes.
There are all sorts of complications that come up because these are not clean, methods. So
Yes.
how are we also just getting that education out to them to say, look, these are not the safest ways to be keeping yourself clean?
I don't know whether you remember when we were young, our generation, there were people that would come into the schools to speak about menstrual hygiene. So promoting even regular teachers
Right.
About menstrual hygiene and teaching them and training up the parents as well to give them the correct tools to use when they're on their period or to show them how to do it correctly. I think it's a matter of empowering each other, and we mustn't shy away from talking about menstruation and, being on your period.
Because I remember growing up, your period was taboo
Whoa,
to talk
it was
about.
your secret.
Why are you telling people you're on your, but opening up these discussions also kind of does make it a lot easier for someone to say, look, this is the situation that I'm in. Please, can you help me?
Yes.
So is that also part of part of your mandate to be going on and saying, look, let's normalize talking about these issues?
Absolutely, absolutely. Getting the men involved as well. So when we have those menstrual talks, we don't only just sit the girl child by themselves. We also invite the boy. Come and let's just take away the myths and the misconceptions about being on your period. So it's just about that open door communication about menstrual hygiene. Yeah.
Now, what are the age groups that you're talking to? I mean, now we know that our girls are starting their periods a lot
Very
younger
young.
than our generation.
That's
so what are
true.
some of the age groups that you've been encountering over your campaign?
Ranging from 9, sometimes younger. So I can't really say because it depends with the parents. Some of the groups that we gather are very young, and I think maybe 7 to maybe 18.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you've mentioned parent involvement.
Yes.
Have you had to deal with those parents who are still a bit rigid about talking about these issues, but who aren't ready to open up just yet because of the way that they were raised?
Yes, absolutely. There's still a very big gap, I feel like, and there's still a lot of shying away from the topic. And obviously, naysayers will be there. Don't talk to them about this. They're not ready yet. But the fact of the matter is you encounter this every day. A child would be sitting in class and then they mess up their dress and everyone else is questioning what's going on, where's the blood coming
Or
from?
laughing at her,
Or
making
laughing.
her feel bad about it.
Exactly. So we do have parents like that, but then thank God for other teachers that step in, or even family members, or even these other groups that are there. A lot of organizations going around talking about menstrual hygiene. So the more we talk about it, like what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
the more our problem is getting better. Problem shared is a problem half solved.
Apart from talking about it, how
Yeah.
else can we actually get actively involved in, not just donating to the pad bank, but also spreading the word around normalizing conversations around your period?
If you are in a family where there's a lot of children, or if you're an aunt or an uncle or whatever, and you feel like you have to step up and don't shy away from that responsibility, I think that's what I'd say. Just step up and talk openly about it. Sharing the message, I think, is the best way, besides donating pads, which is my number one mission for today, donate pads.
Right.
But talking about it,
And
sharing
where do we
the
make our
message.
donations?
Donations are at all the ZNFPC clinics. There's one at Spill House in Southerton, behind Harare Hospital. And there's also one at number 15, 5 Avenue in the CBD. Yeah.
All right. And if we're not in Harare, we just find any of the...
Any ZNFPC clinic, there's, I don't know all of them by head, but
No, that's fine. That's fine. As long as we can identify them. Adiona, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you,
us today.
Candice.
And we hope that you actually do manage to achieve. What is the target? What are we working?
Ooh, the target is large. But anyway, reach for the stars. I am targeting for 2 million packets.
All right.
To get it started off. So Edgar's is already on board. I am excited.
Yay.
And we're hoping to rope in other corporates as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. But, just a quick reminder of who Adiona is to us and why we remember her so fondly, and why we're definitely going to be donating those pads to her campaign, that building that pad bank for those in disadvantaged and marginalized communities who definitely need them and can't have easy access to them.